Growth is a word with 6 letters, but for Tesla it's maybe the biggest superpower, because the growth of Tesla is very, very strong. And this makes out the growth stock opportunity with Tesla that is there since a couple of years. Since about 5 or 6 years continuously, Tesla can grow 50% annually. This means that if the stock follows, then we have a soon very, very high stock price. Now this is a condition that is directly affected by the management and operation team. Now, think about the following. To scale a business, you always have to ensure to a great supply chain. You will have to ensure a great demand for your products, and you also have to have great execution on the ground, because then and only then you can build a very scalable model, like for example Apple did with their iPhones. Now there is a couple of things that is to consider as well, and therefore we will dive into these 3 things and much more here in this vlog. And the first point that I want to discuss with you is the supply chain. We know that the most important part about an electric vehicle and also the business about Tesla are batteries. And therefore also very early on Elon Musk and Tesla invested into Gigafactory 1. And then Gigafactory 2. And therefore they are also investing heavily now into the production of their own cells, because they don't want to be dependent on companies like Panasonic, because this is another bottleneck, right? This bottleneck was there also in the ramp up of Model 3, and they obviously don't want to have this again, and therefore they are starting to build their own cells. Maybe we will know with an announcement by the battery day, maybe we know a little bit later, but for sure Tesla is working on that. Not only that, but also they improving the batteries, that you don't need to have so much battery in a car and still have a decent mileage, that you can easily go a couple of days without charging. Now, if you are thinking now, what is the next big thing for Tesla? Is it gigafactories around the world? And this was maybe one of the most interesting parts in the Q1 earnings call, because there they explained that it's not about putting lots and lots of gigafactory, it's about to make those gigafactories to terafactories. Have a look.
As for how many will be in 5 years, I don't know right now what that number would be. I guess several more than there are today, but I'm not sure what exactly it would be in 5 years, but some number more than today.
I'll also add that our gigas have gotten bigger.
Yes.
And
arguably could start being called tera.
So this is very, very easy to understand, because to put gigafactories in each region is a quite expensive thing, rather than extending those. We have seen this works very, very well for Fremont factory, and we have seen, and it's actually in process for the Shanghai gigafactory. So you can see these 2 things are getting expanded and becoming those tera factories, okay? And this is very important for the future of the supply chain. Obviously, we have seen in the past that Tesla like to improve and take the supply chain to their own. For example, they are the one to produce their own seeds. This is very unique, because something about the seeds makes it very expensive if you outsource this, and if you insource this, you have the capabilities to decide the absolute highest quality as well as an uninterrupted supply chain. We have seen just recently the news about Tesla China, that apparently, according to some sources in China, the production got on hold because there was a miss of components, maybe from a not so reliable supply chain, right? So this is important for the continuously 50% growth of Tesla. The next big thing that you need to consider for this continuous growth is the demand of a product. Now, this is quite easily with Tesla, as we have seen, but this is quite difficult to achieve. You need to achieve a product that the people love, that the people spread, that don't need too much marketing to grow markets. You just need to have a product that everybody loves and is totally innovating, and then you have a winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Because then you can assume that a growth and demand works hand in hand. As much as the product is great, as much as there is a continuous user base and customer base and potential customer regions, because you have to also understand there's lots and lots of clients for Tesla, okay, potential clients. Those clients that are still not buying Tesla, it's because maybe they are afraid of the charging. They cannot spend $100,000 or $40,000 or $30,000 for a brand new car, so they are waiting maybe until the prices go down. Second-hand cars, maybe a further down priced model. And this is obviously very important to always extend the portfolio to make as more and more of client base products available. Now, if you consider this with mix of the supply chain, then you have already a quite fundamental basis for the continuous of growth. But it's not only that. This sounds all easy, but it requires a lot and a great management and a lot of effort and a great operation. And let's talk about that. Well, I believe that Tesla maybe has the best operation team for all the car manufacturers. Let's start with the head, Elon Musk. Elon Musk can be quite verbal on Twitter, on the Twitter circus, but we also know that he cares. He can sleep in the factory if times got rough, but he also can push the marketing for free for Tesla. Now, we need to understand that this is something that just few CEOs out there could achieve. Steve Jobs was so known that he brought millions of clients. There was sometimes even the people was buying the product because of Steve Jobs rather than the product itself. And this is a cult. If a company achieved this cult status, this is the next level. And I think Tesla is about to build up this cult around Elon Musk. And moreover, they have one of the best executing teams. We have seen them ramping up the electric vehicle manufacturing. We even see that the biggest car manufacturer worldwide, VW, is having issues with producing mass market cars, electric cars. And then you have the unbelievable financing that brought Tesla from almost broke to about almost 10 billion cash in the bank. Now, this requires a lot of really precise accounting and a very, very creative and very, very strict management into cost basis. Now, we know that Tesla achieved a 60 days credit line with all the suppliers. We see a great negotiation skills by Tesla. So all of this gives Tesla a huge basis for the operation and the execution, and also I think the development team, the design team. Frank Holzhausen is one of the best designers for cars. Look what they did for the Cybertruck. Look what they did for the new Roadster, right? The Model X. Every of their car until now had always revolutionizing features. Now even haters had to agree at some point that those cars are brilliant. Even the short sellers are agreeing that the S, X, Y, and 3 are great cars. Now, as we now discuss the 3 pillars of growth for Tesla, I also want to answer one of the most asked questions. Where can be and when can be Tesla stock, where and for which price? Now, let's have a look into the stock. The stock as of this production of this vlog is about at $780. Now let's assume that every year Tesla continues to grow 50%. This would mean that in 1 year we will have a stock that is currently then valued at $1,170. Now if we go another year, then it's $1,755. Another year would be $2,632.5, and the next one would be almost $4,000. So as you can see, this is possible. And the market currently is more open for growth stocks like Tesla, because even through all these crises, the innovators and growth stocks are the one that flourish most out of it, because people are changed, consumer behavior will change. We are ordering cars in the future that drive by themselves without touching anything to their new owners. Now, this is the new now, this is the new future, this is the new normal, and therefore beware of those growth stocks like Tesla, because if you miss it, then you have to wait for the next Tesla.